We're on. Go. Woo!
We're live.
We are live and in person with Alfred Gordon Liu, or better known as Alfie, my 111th best-selling author. This man has broken all the records. Yes, international best-selling author in like 3.5 hours or something like that on your launch day. So congratulations.
I was sleeping.
I know. I kept wondering, when is this man going to wake up? I'm doing screenshots and sending messages. I'm like, did he like go off somewhere? My very first best-selling author was so scared of her bestseller day. She went on a family trip, didn't tell me, and decided she was going to go tubing on the lazy river. I could not find her all day long. I'm like, where are you? Where are you? Did you know you hit bestseller? She's like, no, just tried not to think about it. Like, okay, we're not doing that.
Finally giving it to the universe, letting it flow, down the
That's exactly right. She flowed down the lazy river right into best-selling author. So anyways, Alfie, tell everybody who you are and what you do.
I'm Alfie, known as Alfred Gordon Liu. I recently wrote the book Humble Dad and Invested Dad. I've been an investor for X amount of years, also in film. I have to give a shout out to Atlanta, Georgia, and then people here in Vancouver, Canada, for making great films. And when COVID happened, they locked us all down, and I've been investing full time and also teaching people how to invest. And writing a book was just something to do during COVID. I was locked in this office that you see here. And I was like, well, I need to reach out to people. I need to get some messages out. And that's where I came across our wonderful Vickie. Thank you for having us. I remember meeting you 3 years ago while we were attending another workshop with one of our kind of, code mentors that we have. And she stuck out. And I was like, oh, she's got to get me. And she left an impression on me. And 3 years later, who knew that she planted that little book seed and it finally came to fruition. So.
Yep. And the whole like, oh, I need to do something, during this time turned into people chasing this man down in Messenger saying, I need to work with you. How do I do this? Can you coach me? We're going to talk about that and how that happened in a little bit as well. So first, share a little bit about like what your first idea was about your book.
Wow. Well, first of all, I had it in my head that this would just be a book that I wrote. It would be kind of a vanity project. It would be like a memoir to my girls, essentially. So I have two young girls. They're 6.
Adorable little girls as well. Do you have a picture on your phone?
I don't, but right here.
I prepped you.
I keep it on my wall right there. That's my lovely wife.
Yes.
And those are 2 girls. This is before lockdown. Our last trip in Mexico, probably around February, before we all had to shut it down. So yeah, we were traveling around having a great time. But my mentality at that time was, I got to write a book so my girls know who I am. And I remember what thought process, what paid for this trip, because I was fairly new to investing at this time, and it gave us great opportunities to go around, travel the world, go live a lifestyle that was amazing, and also visit you in San Diego when you were there too. My girls were up there living the high life in the Sheraton, having that wonderful, I don't remember what it was called, like Premier Lounge, where they just go and eat whatever, and they were a big hit there too. So.
Yeah. So you thought at first the book was going to be something that you could leave as words to your kids, legacy type of thing. And then what happened?
Oh, then I got corrected by this lady right here. You're on this side for me. When I first met you, I thought, oh, it's great. She'll show me how to launch this wonderful vanity book to bestseller, and then it will just magically have all these buyers, and they'll come out of the woodwork. And I was quickly taken to school that it would be a different thing, and this book should be more than just a vanity project, but a gift to everybody else out there. And that this book was a calling to do something greater. And sure enough, it came true when I was writing this. My brother in-law, he was expecting kids. So I was like, okay, well, it's about him. And then, like Vickie said, people were coming out of the woodwork when I announced that I was writing a book, and what is it all about? And I was about fatherhood and about investing. And people just started asking, like, yeah, how do you do that? And I thought they were going to come to me for investing advice. No, they wanted, how did I parent? How did I, raise these two girls? How did I accomplish all this? So
Yeah.
yeah, it quickly turned to, I need to help these people. And they gave me what I needed to write. And that was kind
Uh-huh.
of amazing to work and co-author with, the people that I had on social media or Facebook. So, thank you for that lesson. And it's been a wonderful gift to mentor other parents throughout their
Yeah,
journey as well.
for sure.
And when I first started, I was like, who am I? I'm just, I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, this is only going to be for the newborns. But, other people with, older kids have been, messaging, how do you do this? How do you talk with them? And
Mhm.
through this process, I realized that I had a lot more to share than I knew. My mom and dad have big, huge families. I'm the youngest of 26 different cousins, and they've
Wow.
gone before me. So I've gotten to take all their learning, their knowledge, and pack it in and put it into this book and share it. So
That's cool. I remember on our group calls, Alfie would come on and he'd be like, I don't know what to do with all these messages. What am I supposed to do? It's so overwhelming. And the rest of them are laughing like, we wish we all had this problem where we were getting messaged all the time and people were wanting our help and wanting coaching and mentoring and all that. And I think that was a little bit of a reframe, wasn't it, Alfie? Because initially you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? I need to just tell them to wait.
yeah, that was unexpected. That's what I called a good first world problem, I think. But I didn't anticipate that. Telling people right off the bat in this process, it was juggling those two worlds of, I'm for all your audience listening, I was nervous. I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to write and it's going to make sense. I'm a first time author. Who's going to read my stuff? Who wants to know what I know? And, do they even know that I know anything? Right. And,
Yeah.
it
I
brought
think
me
we
through a
all
journey.
yeah,
Sorry.
I think we all go through that, no matter how many books you've written, I think every author has the, "Oh my gosh, is anybody gonna even want this thing? Who is going
Mhm.
to read it?" And then afterwards, it's like, "Oh crap, what if somebody reads it?" What if somebody reads it and they have comments about it? So tell us a little bit about what it was like through the writing journey, through the process of putting this book together. Did
Yeah.
it did it end up the way you thought it was going to?
Wow. That's a big question. Like I said from the beginning, I thought it was going to be a memoir, a vanity project,
Yeah.
and it took a while. For your viewers here, we had a lot of back and forth, you and I, at the beginning, to
Mhm.
get the framework and this, the mindset of, who is this book for? Who is your audience? What is your purpose? And breaking it down. And I felt like when I first started this book, I had to go back to that drawing board a couple of times because your style and publishing is very much for business authors, not for
Mhm.
people looking to do vanities or, like you're saying, memoirs. And that took me a big shift because at that time I didn't have a coaching business. I didn't have a self-help personal development business. I was helping people in the classrooms and corporate classrooms, and then also in workshops for investing, not helping people this stuff that was relegated to the fireside chats that I have, or in my backyard,
Right.
and to open that door and to have that kind of framework right at the beginning. And thank you for that mentorship and coaching to guide you through that process, that this book can be so much more than just a vanity project for my girls, but there's
Mhm.
that message that I've been gifted with needs to go to other people. And how do you frame that for the rest of the people? Because as a first time author, I had no clue.
Yeah,
No,
and
no
you
clue.
put together that framework, the 3P method, as part of, like, 5 pieces that we do. One of the S's is sizzle, and
Mhm.
so that was the 3P method. You wanna share a little bit about what that method is all about, just in case somebody out there needs you, which I'm sure there is somebody out there who needs you.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That was
Yeah.
something that you had a huge part in in creating and saying that in your books. And I think that goes across the board. The sizzle that you talk about is what gives that sauciness, that flavor, that goodness in a book. And for me, it took a little while to discover what that sizzle was. I had to let it grow organically. And for me, it's the 3 p.m. system, and it stands for 3 pairs method. And what it really is, it's threaded throughout my whole book. And it is essentially 3 pairs. And I think they call this, is it a homophone, where the 3 words, the pair, pair, and pair. So a pair, like you and me,
Oh.
are a pair. And I
Mhm.
talk about all those parents, how to show up, what kind of role you are with your kid. Is it, the provider and the infant? Is it the coach and the child? So that's the kind of first pairs that I talk about. The second pair is pairing out. So when in the investing world, we use the word pair, like we got to pare down our expenses or pare down the costs. And it essentially means, what do you need to cut out? Right. And the other one was a pear, like you eat a pear. And up here in the Pacific Northwest, this is where we grow most of our pears that we eat in North America. And it's this, and the Asian ones are the best, the Asian pears, just to let you know.
Yes, that's
Right.
true. That is true.
So what do you want to grow, essentially? And it worked out that this 3 pairs that I want to is throughout through the whole book. First setting out what kind of relationship pair you want. What do you need to cut out of your relationship, or what habits that you need to cut out, and then what are you looking to grow? And it's so simple. It's so easy for some of my clients to grasp onto. And I love how it's named 3 p.m. because when I think about that, I think if school's out, it's time for dads or moms, to go to
Yep.
work. That's when our parenting really starts. So 3 p.m. is what we call it.
That's
So
perfect. That is great.
had a nice ring to it.
So you said that at the beginning of the process, you didn't have a business. Now, I know you had the investing
Mhm.
side of your business. So through this, what changed business-wise for you?
Wow. You know what really changed throughout the process of writing this book? People were coming out of the woodwork saying, "Oh, I want to write a book too. That's so awesome." And throughout COVID, I was locked in this room, and there were still people that I met, occasionally, or we would go on when it was acceptable to go on socially distanced walk or go exercising outside. And a lot of people were having, a lot of struggles, a lot of change. Investing was that one thing that was my through line throughout the whole thing, throughout this process. But people were laid off, people didn't have any jobs, people were going through, family, marital kind of things. Kids were at home. How did they do that? And they were watching me open, our garage door, welcome kids in from the neighborhood. Who knew I had kids on my block? I didn't know that before, And they would come from down the block, across the street, down the hall, and I would have this community center in my backyard, essentially, in my garage of kids. And it's because of that I knew that there was a need to fill. Right. I knew that the book and the message was more than just investing. It was about the relationships, the juicy stuff and I knew that we need to spend more time and invest in it. And that's where it's spurted. I need to open this up so I can help other people as well.
Mhm. So aside from COVID giving you the time you felt that you needed, was there something else that made you think, "I really need to write this book. I really need to get it out now"?
Hmm. Well, I do have to say the urge to get it out now is, oh, being older. Us Asians, we look young forever, I think.
Yes.
I'm really coming into the age where I've been through so much trauma. I've been through so much challenges, and like people during COVID, and our cultural challenges that we have. I don't know if that's me or you, or
Not me.
I apologize. That's me. That was my phone. That's a new one.
That's okay.
So I apologize for that. Everybody who's watching too, I apologize for that. And where was I? I was saying that throughout this time, and why I had to say it is because, I think a lot of healing has happened, and it took the pandemic to slow it down. And it was a wonderful gift, the pandemic, to help me slow down, put things in priority, because I was a type. I don't know if you've seen that about me. I'm go, go, go. I will travel around the world. I'll just hop onto the
Gotta
next
be a
train.
good student.
Good student. You give me something, I'm going to run with it. And what COVID did for me was it just slowed everything down. It said, well, what's really important? And it was a great thing that our Canadian government here, because I'm in Canada, just locked it all down. And semi, we're just starting to come out now. Where I'm watching everybody in the States, they're going on vacations, they're having a great time, and we're just lucky to go indoor dining now, right? But that slowed it down, and it made me think. It gave me that reflection time, which I don't normally do in my practice, and it was a wonderful gift to finally take a breather and to get out the message so clearly, because I was saying it again and again, and that's where I know I needed to say it in a book so people could read it. And many people were isolated. They were trapped in their own homes, and then they had to, they weren't even posting on social media. I didn't even know where they were. And why I needed to say that is because those magical moments where you have a chat with your best friend, you're going on a walk, or you're going sharing a meal together. That's when us I felt like I bonded with my friends. Or if we were at a pub or a bar, that's where we would have some guy talk or locker room bonding, and we weren't allowed to go to those places, right?
Right,
And
yeah.
people needed that fireside chat, that conversation.
Mhm.
So this is a way that I thought about, and the reason why is that they could have those chats,
Mhm.
right in their back pocket, right on their shelf, so they could just take the words and be comforted by them, or get that dose of encouragement that they needed because they were just trapped in their homes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have felt that, and I've had many authors say that's a reason too for them, like, "Oh yeah, I have time now, I can write a book because, like, what else is there to do?"
Mhm.
So, Alfie, tell me what it was like, leading up to and then bestseller launch day.
Mm, man, that was an emotional, anxious time in my life. That
It's like
hours.
I tell people it's not something that you can describe until you've been there. Like, you think you're gonna be happy, you think it's gonna feel great, you're gonna expect to be excited and all that, but tell us the real truth, what happened?
Okay. Um, wow. Like anything leading up to that week, I was, being a good student. I was marketing. I, had my back end, website kind of done. I was playing around with automations, which Vickie, we could tell that story later about, these things automatically coming out. So you don't have to do anything. And that's a great part about, the system is that you give us all the tools to do it. And it just rolls out. And you're like, I don't want to do anything. So leading up to it, all you have to do is deal with your emotional mess. And for me, that week leading up to it was just am I doing this right? Triple checking, looking at this book. Is it okay? Is it launching? Is it launch? So when you do your wonderful launch that you do online with your ebook that you've taught us, you have to wait 72 hours, and there's nothing you can do. It's just processing, and your head is going wild. You're like, oh, can I just retract that? I'm not sure this is for me. That's the first thing that went through my mind. Like, oh man, no one's going to buy this book. I don't. Are they even going to find it? And I went through this emotional roller coaster of, are these people that I've talked to that have supported me along the way, are they going to actually do what I said and go buy it? Because at that time I didn't know that all you Americans would be gone for Memorial Day weekend. You're not here in Canada. We were gone the week before for Victoria Day. So with that, it was a lot of anxiety. It's like, oh man, my American friends aren't gonna. They're out vacationing. They're free. They're not gonna go buy my book, right? So that kind of just put me into a crazy spin, and yeah, to have your words kind of out there, you can't describe it. It's like, oh no, you should not. Yeah, no, it's like you can't take the post down. It's out there. It's out there. There's no control of that, and I've always liked that kind of control. So hence I was freaking out. And 24 hours that night before I went to sleep before it launched, because it launched on May 29th on Saturday. Friday night I posted, I tripled, quadrupled checked all the wonderful automations. Are they going out? And one leaked out accidentally early, which was a blessing in disguise, because that email went out. It gave out the link to my book, and I posted that, I was nervous. I didn't know if this is something I want to do. And I was candid with, some of the people that I knew on social media and my email list. And I think they probably felt, if anything, they got sympathy votes, sympathy buys. And then I was wearing the same clothes. So I posted that little video saying, hey, yeah, it's launching tomorrow. Don't forget. And it's on sale. So get it this one day. And I woke up the next morning in the same clothes, and I was just emotional because Vickie was messaging me, and I was checking my own stats, and I was, lucky that that email went out. It went out to my, international audience that we had in the UK, and then also Japan and Brazil, which I still think I get a little emotional thinking about. Because my parents ran a homestay business for a long time, and we had lots of students there, and they experienced that family care, that legacy from my mom and dad, who felt like I was, their brother. My mom and dad were their mom and dad, and they wanted to support their brother. And I think all those people kind of rallied together. And so when I woke up in the morning on Pacific Standard Time, I was already a bestseller and an international bestseller before anybody, I think, here woke up. in
Number one, baby.
Number one. So, woo! This is there.
I'm messaging you. I'm like, when is this guy gonna get up? Is he not like? How is he able to sleep?
Mhm.
Is he gonna sleep through the whole thing? Because I'm 3 hours ahead of you. But you're right. Those people getting the email early, UK is 6 hours ahead of me. So that's
Mhm.
9 hours ahead of you. And Brazil, all those people are way ahead. So that actually worked out really
It
well.
did.
I was thinking that I might have to update something in the modules there about be like Alfie.
You betcha. So the ride was so emotional. I was nervous. I was anxious the night before, and then when I woke up in the morning, I felt so blessed and honored that the people that I had along my journey came and bought the book and voted with their dollars, and the outpouring of emotion, not just hitting number one seller, but the outpour of messages that you get,
Mhm.
like, I'm so proud of you. I wanted to write a book too. This is amazing that you got your message out. A lot of dads need to hear this. I'm going to get this for my dad. And I gifted a copy as well to a friend of mine. I'm like those kind of
Yeah.
things that reach. I don't even know who their friends were, or their dad. I'd never met them, and
Right.
they're passing that kind of on, and that to me was the greatest honor, more so than hitting bestseller. So
Yeah. Like that's where the real impact, it's like the impact that you don't know, but is there. The
yeah,
faceless people, the names that you don't really know. It's interesting too. Like you'll probably hear years from now people saying, "Oh yeah, I bought that book. I bought your book," when it first came out, and that's going to be surprising to you too until a few more people start saying it. Then you're like, "Wait, there's a lot of people out there who I don't necessarily know." And it's just so great because that's the power of books, right? That they can reach so many people. So, Alfie, if you had tips to tell somebody who's watching and going, "Oh, I want to write my book. Let
mhm.
me hit an international bestseller like Alfie in 3.5 hours on my launch day." And it could have been earlier. I just wasn't up yet. So it could have been earlier. I don't know, but I'm not getting
You
up.
deserve your beauty sleep, sister. You just let the universe do its thing.
Yeah, I'm not getting up any earlier than that, sorry.
No.
So if somebody's out there, you probably know the fears that they're experiencing right now and the excuses or the procrastination. What do you wanna tell them to encourage them or any tips that you wanna say?
Wow. I'll start from reverse, because like reverse engineering, I think.
Yeah.
The blessings that you have now, you know, the the clients that are coming, the people that are knocking on your door, the feeling of, you're changing other people's lives, is amazing, making a difference. It is, now that the process is done, I'm reaping all the rewards, and
Yeah.
it is a lot sweeter than just hitting a bestseller. But those gifts of relationships, people that you meet, new people that are coming out of the woodwork, old friends that you get to reconnect with,
Mm.
and random strangers that love your message, is is flattering, and the fact that you know you can make a real difference, you know, I think that feedback is is more than the homework of hitting a #1 bestseller. So
The homework.
as sweet as that is, you know, the true rewards are in those relationships that you make, and that you're privy to it. And you know, I think it. You know, I have to say it's good for your ego too. You know, it's been a while since I've been out there receiving applause or anything else on a stage, or you know, out there in the movie theater world. But it's great to have those accolades, and it feels great to have, you know, people supporting that and voting with their feet. But if I were to go back and talk to old Alfie, is, you know, if they decide to go with you,
Mhm.
don't ask your mind, you know, ask your heart. Is Vickie someone that you trust, that could take you through this process? That someone that you want to help nurture you, nourish you to go through that. And that was an overwhelming yes. I knew it, you know, when I met you 3 years ago in San Diego, that this lady, you know, if I attached my bus, you know, or my train or my cart to her, she will take me places. And I knew that. I had the trust and the confidence in that. And I can't even say what else. I thought it was just books, but it brought me a whole, you know, clearing process. It got me a whole new business. It brought me, you know, extra love about clearing. And with you, you get more than just a book coach. I have to say that, and that's what we're talking about right now. But
Yeah.
you get a life coach. You get, you know, a motivator, and the biggest thing is you get a champion for your book. You know, no one around me has written a book. I don't hang around authors, you know, and to have
Mhm.
you in my back, you know, corner, cheering me on and showing me the way was amazing. So, you know, whoever you find, and I'm biased, you know, I have to say, you know, I knew it. Know in your heart that you know, if you go with Vickie, she's going to bring more than just, you know, her formula that works. That gets you to international bestseller, but you're getting a lot of heart work. You're getting a lot of life coaching work. You're going to get you're getting business coaching as
Mhm.
well. So, and that can bring other gifts that you didn't think that were possible. If you just think you're going to write a vanity memoir, you know.
Well, thanks for the plug there.
I,
I'm also meant to show your link. This is a link to
mm,
Alfie's book, and all of the different countries or whatever. Paperback is coming out soon. If you
mm,
want a signed copy, you have to get directly with him, because that's a whole different thing. But you can go
mm.
right there and get his ebook right now.
Thank you. Thank you for that plug.
Yeah, I meant to do that, like, I had it all prepared and everything. I meant to do it ages ago, but there it is.
Yeah,
So grab
invested
that and
parenting.
go there. What's that?
Invested parenting.
Yes, investedparenting.com. All right, cool. So, Alfie, any last words of wisdom that you want to give people? You shared quite a lot with,
Yeah.
the journey and everything that happened. Do you wish you would have just put it off a little bit longer?
Mm, at this point, I want to write another one. I think, you know, the system works so well that, you know, what really springs in my mind right now is I actually had to go back to the beginning. You know, why did I kind of start this? And your voice sticks in my head. It says, "What do your readers need to hear?" You know, and that's the one voice that your voice that I have in my head. You know, there's readers out there that need to hear a message, and it's a message that I can only say. You know,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah,
and so, you know, whoever is watching, there's a message that only you can say. The rest of the world, they need to hear it from you,
that's
uh,
right.
and let this lady help you do it.
Thanks for the plug again. Well, since you're doing such a great job, here's my link if you guys want to check out the program. Um, but what I love so much about doing these interviews and case studies with my successful best-selling authors is that I can say all the same things that you said,
Mhm.
and it comes out differently.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, well, yeah, she said that, but yeah, yeah, yeah." But when somebody like you, Alfie, shares, "Oh my gosh, I was scared." Like,
Mhm.
I was terrified still with my 10th book to hit that publish button. I thought the same things. Can I retract this? Is there something wrong with it? Ooh, maybe it's not so good after all. I don't know what I'm doing. Like my 10th
Mhm.
book, right? And people just go, I don't believe you,
Mhm.
right? But when it comes from you, they see like this real person and real journey and everything instead of me just going, this is how it is. This is what's going to happen. So I appreciate that and the insights and your honesty with all
Mhm.
the things and the roller coaster that happened along the way. But
It's
now, let's wind it up with what do you see for the future? What's coming up for Alfie?
Ooh, well, this book is still not done.
Yeah.
I think the best thing that Vickie says is, this book you write it once, and this is where the business part is. This is lovely business coaching from Vickie, is that you can monetize this book forever. Uh,
Mhm.
so what we got in the works right now, me and the team, is a workbook.
Yep.
It was full of text, and I wanted to. I'm a visual learner, so I wanted to give those people. But so we're going to make a workbook that's going to accompany this, so they can get the most stuff that you can rip out, print out, put it on your fridge, and it will just help you become a better parent, or to
Awesome.
give you more emotional awareness. So we're going to give you those tools. And the other thing, what I'm having a lot of fun doing right now, is audiobook, recording an audiobook. So this book is so not done yet. There's so much to do even after you hit bestseller, and that's
Yeah.
a way to monetize it and to reach a different audience. Ones that love to have visuals, and other
Yep.
ones, all those busy parents that just can't have time to read. They need to get it in audio format. So
Yep.
it's gonna be amazing to get a bigger reach, as well as all
Awesome.
those other things. So
That's great. Well, congratulations again.
thank you.
Fastest rise to the top.
Woo!
I love those. Those are the best, Alfie.
My
Thanks
wife
for
made
being with
these for me.
us. And thanks for sharing everything. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Hook up with Vickie. Attach yourself to her train. She'll take
He
you places you didn't imagine.
he said it a lot during group calls. That's why I hooked my caboose to your train.
You betcha.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.
Thank you. Have a good day.